But then he comes on stage and he says, we should ban doors. Well, what's wrong with that country? There's so much wrong with that country, am I right, guys? Yeah. But in other news, did anyone hear about the Johnny Depp Amber Heard case? It's a very popular topic right now. A lot of people are discussing it. You know, it's a thing where a lot of people are getting heated over on, you know, the old Twitter, the place where nobody wants to go. And I just thought I'd give my opinion on Johnny Depp. Okay, well, let's ignore that. How about my opinion on Amber Heard?
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Okay, no worry. Instead, how about we scrap that topic and move on to the next topic, which is micro e-celebrities who are absolutely horrific using the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard case to cover up and clear their name from the horrific and terrible things that they've done in their past. No? Ladies and gentlemen, Amber Heard versus Johnny Depp is probably one of the most discussed cases I've ever seen on the internet. There is so much discourse, debate, arguing, just animosity going around on the internet because of this one specific topic. And it's getting worse and worse as the day goes by, and the YouTube algorithm just does nothing but promote these videos about Johnny Depp owning Amber Heard every single day. And yes, I watch most of them, but you know, I'm kind of getting a little bit, I guess, I don't really know what the word is to describe. Depressed. I personally find zero enjoyment in this court case. I know a lot of people do find it entertaining, but for me personally, I just can't help but feel extremely depressed watching something like this take place. It's sad to me, and I know that might be considered controversial. I don't really care. It does just make me feel a little bit depressed. And that's not because of the side I support in this debacle. It's because of the fact that this is even a thing. These cases to me are terribly sad. I'm sure a lot of people do relate to what's going on in the case, and I personally just find that extremely depressing. Yes, I have laughed at some memes here and there, and yes, some of the things that have come out of it are quite entertaining, but the whole thing as an actual thing is sad, and I don't care what anybody says. But finally I have found something. I have found one specific thing from this case where I believe personally that everybody, no matter what side you're on, no matter what discourse you follow, you can collectively agree on this one thing.
Hi, I'm Onision and I am still here. But how could I be? Unless everything that you were told was just more Amber Heard-esque bullshit.
Whoa, Gregory, not on this channel. No, it's still the first 2 minutes of the video, my friend. Please, could you leave the language out? Thank you very much. Firstly, I'd like to apologise for the jump scare, but obviously that is sadly Onision. And Gregory is somebody that I've spoken about quite a lot recently, mainly for the fact that Gregory has recently quit YouTube and has moved on to doing much better and fun things such as starting a cult on the internet and also now posting videos on Twitter where he seems to victimize himself in every single video using very serious real life situations. Because seemingly from everything I've gone through and all the research I've done in today's video, Gregory is kind of, I guess, comparing himself, in my opinion, to Johnny Depp. He's even gone to the stage of changing his Twitter name to Greggy Depp, and it kind of does put a little bit of the taste of vomit in your mouth. But whilst Gregory has been comparing himself to Johnny Depp, he's also at the same time been defending Amber Heard, whilst also at the same time attacking Amber Heard. It's a little bit contradictory, but at the end of the day, it's the world of Onision, and in that world, basically nothing makes sense because this man is just absolutely mental. But as I said, this is the one thing I have found where everybody can collectively agree on, because it does seem that Gregory has taken the brave stance of trying to piss everybody off on both sides. So naturally, we're going to get into it.
I just wanted to talk about the Marilyn Manson situation and the Elon Musk situation, or basically every famous male person you've ever looked up to who wound up being a total CREEP, apparently. And YouTubers aren't immune to that. I've gone through things.
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
I really do admire the fact that Greg is like, oh yeah, I've been through things. Oh, I've been through things just like all the other people that were accused that I just mentioned. It's like, Gregory, what things have you been through? I'd really like to know. Could you just list them for me? Was it the child falling through the window? Was it the constant allegations? Was it all of these things? I just really like to know. Note them down, pick them out for me. That would be fantastic. I'd appreciate it. So Gregory has basically been uploading these minute to 10 minute long videos on his Twitter account where he's speaking about the Johnny Depp case and speaking about other celebrities and basically stating that because of the Johnny Depp Amber Heard case, we need to stop being so harsh on accused abusers, and rather than be harsh on them, we actually need to be kinder to accused abusers and actually start to rehabilitate these accused abusers. And I can't help but hear this and think he's speaking about himself. He's basically, in my opinion, saying, hey guys, I know I've done all these terrible things and I'm actually a really bad person, but I think it's time we start being nicer to me. That's all I can really take from this, and I'm gonna kind of show to you why I feel this way. And then I'll change my name to Greg Depp to get all the Johnny fans on my side, and then I'll tell them that maybe we should actually be nicer to abusers, and maybe we should blame that on mental illness. They'll never know. They'll never know. Actually, maybe they will. And it all starts off with this video titled Amber Heard, for example. Cried wolf, when will the real wolf come? And will anyone believe when it's real? But before I actually play this clip, I do just want to put out a request of, could everybody watching this video right now, regardless of your opinion on the Johnny and Amber Heard situation, please just put those opinions to a side for a second and mainly focus on the fact that there is a terrible human being that has done a lot of terrible things, now taking advantage of a terrible situation in an attempt to clear their name and clear the terrible actions that they have committed in the past. That should be the focus of this, that somebody is taking advantage of a horrific situation in a desperate attempt to kind of salvage their own career.
Just so you guys know, there was no criminal anything. There's no lawsuits, no civil lawsuits, literally nothing. You ever hear the story of the boy who cried wolf? Well, what if that boy was paid money to cry wolf? I tried to tell you guys, but, you know, we live in a society.
What the f*** are you talking about?
Firstly, Gregory, as somebody that isn't from America, I do not need the American justice system to define to me what a bad person is. I've seen plenty of information, Greg, to kind of show me that you are absolutely terrible. Like, look at all these videos, all of them, man. I just need to watch one of them to know that you are an awful person. I don't need a lawsuit. I don't need some lawyer telling me that you are terrible. I can make the opinion for myself that you are a bad guy. And people may say, well, wait, where did he actually say his name in this? I'm sorry, but out of all the clips I'm going to show you today, I just cannot help but watch them and hear him speaking about himself.
I've gone through things.
He speaks about how there are no lawsuits and stuff going on, so I can only assume that he isn't speaking about the Johnny Depp case because, you know, there is a lawsuit going on, a very public one, and I think here he was mainly speaking about the fact that there has been a lot of speculation over Onision being sued, speculation over Onision being investigated, and whilst these things may not be happening for all we know, I think we can still come to the opinion without the law telling us that somebody is a bad person, because for the most part, the law doesn't catch people out in America. The law allows a lot of terrible people to get away with a lot of terrible things. Including you. Yeah, you watching this video right now, you sicken me. You really are the lowest of the low. What the hell do you think about yourself? You really do sicken me. Now like the video and subscribe.
Well, what if that boy was paid money to cry wolf?
Now, I guess what he's insinuating here is something that I've been speaking about recently, is when influencers that get involved in some form of controversy like to be like,
oh, he's just doing it for money, he's just doing it for monetary gain.
And it's like, yeah, I actually don't care if people who publish vital information, make money off that vital information. If there is a journalist, a YouTuber that posts an article, a video that allows me to understand some knowledge that I didn't know about before, which shows me that somebody is a bad person, I feel like that person that published that article or video is allowed to make monetary gain because it's their video. Journalists are extremely important people in society, and I think it's very worrying that there is this continuous rhetoric that a lot of celebrities, influencers, politicians like to push, where they say that journalists only say the things that they say for monetary gain. It's their job. They need money to live. So yeah, I think it's perfectly fine for these YouTubers or journalists to post their videos or articles because these videos and articles are doing a lot of good and helping a lot of people, and most importantly, making everybody know and realize that people like Gregory are terrible. And Gregory is probably also referring to alleged victims also profiteering off him here, and to be honest with you, with alleged victims profiteering off any terrible situation they've had to go through, I actually think that's actually a pretty nice thing. I think if a victim can have somewhat of a positive thing from their terrible traumatic experience, I think that's great. But okay, that was a 15-second video, you know, isn't exactly the worst thing in the world. It's Gregory typically victimizing himself. What a shocker. But the next day, Gregory uploaded a video titled, "Yesterday's video. Wasn't able to upload it onto Twitter then, can now. Anyway, why I feel bad for Amber Heard. I'd recommend watching before replying because it's a legit title for reasons you may not have considered. Hashtag justice for Johnny Depp. Absolutely yes. But also this." And yes, I, like everybody else, cannot wait for Onision's take on why he feels bad for Amber Heard. I don't even think Amber Heard wants Onision to feel bad for him. Like, if there's any person in this world to make it look a little bit worse for Amber Heard, it's definitely Onision. Honestly, Johnny Depp's probably also sat there thinking, oh, Jesus, he's wrote injustice for Johnny, and that I'm starting to think maybe I don't deserve justice. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they're both seeing this thinking, oh my God. But at the same time, there is no way these two people know who Onision is. I mean, Onision, I guess, has desperately tried to look like Johnny Depp for the last 10 years. It's kind of not worked to a degree of where it's actually quite embarrassing, but I'm getting sidetracked. Let's get into this video.
Hey guys, first off, just want to say sorry for not thinking of you guys first. With that being said, there's nothing you can do about the past. Me comedically pouring kombucha on myself as part of a prank I assume people would get. You know, you can't undo the assumption there.
The assumption that you're a terrible person. That assumption, right, Greg? Is that the assumption you're talking about, right?
A lot of folks think that I'm out of my mind, and I'm not. I'm just a very, very good actor. Some people choose to believe that, some people don't. That's okay. Just to give you an idea, if in all these videos, if I was never acting, how would I be able to compose a normal video? Ever. Because the person that I like to play the character of is certifiably insane. So if that was all real, then how is this a thing?
The vibes I get from this video are most definitely Patrick Bateman. Like, I'm sorry, I just can't help but watch this and think, this man is desperately trying to look like this man. It's almost embarrassing. I mean, if this whole thing was an act for the last 15 years, I feel like he'd have an Oscar at this point. He'd have a few awards in his locker. Like, oh, guys, this whole thing was fake, and that's why I'm speaking with this very level-headed voice. It's like, Gregory, okay, am I meant to believe that this was fake? Was this fake? Was all of this fake? Like, Greg, are we the crazy ones? Are we? Maybe we are. Maybe this whole thing was just a facade. Or maybe you are just fucking mental.
This confession has meant nothing.
With that aside, I wanted to talk about Amber Heard real quick. So I feel bad for Amber Heard, and I know that's really unpopular to say. I don't so much feel bad for Johnny Depp because everybody loves him. Like, yeah, he's gonna miss out on some movies, okay? But he's already done an enormous amount of great movies, and he's also a multi-millionaire. Like, you can't feel too bad for that man because he is so overwhelmingly successful and loved. Yes, people said things about him that were not true, but people often say things about pretty much everyone on earth. It sucks that people don't tell the truth all the time and that they say terrible things about each other, but this is not unfamiliar territory to the human species. People have been going through this since the days of Abraham Lincoln and sooner. People have always been talking shit, okay? That's what I'm saying. So don't feel so bad for Johnny Depp because he's Johnny Depp. I mean, can you imagine waking up in the morning and being like, oh, I'm Johnny Depp, and like feeling bad? It's impossible. It's impossible to wake up in the morning and be Johnny Depp and feel bad unless you're Johnny Depp, because Johnny Depp doesn't realize how lucky he is to be Johnny Depp, okay? He said his life was like completely over, right? Because of a rumor. And it's like, bro, you're still Johnny Depp though. You know how many people that are younger than you would give up their youth just to wake up as a canceled Johnny Depp? You don't understand how lucky you are, bro.
What are you talking about? You strange little man. What does that even mean? What? Like, I know I seem a bit overly confused in this video, but I'm just confused by what that point actually means, because Johnny Depp is Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp can't feel sad because other people want to be Johnny Depp. There's this really weird thing, which I see a lot of people doing, of where they act like famous people can't be depressed or sad because they're famous and rich. It's like, bro, famous and rich people get sad, and yes, they're in extremely privileged positions. I'm not denying that, and yes, people would love to be in their positions, but let's not deny the fact that these people go through their mental health struggles just because they're rich and famous and have good lives. Like, that's incredibly dehumanizing, but at the same time, I'm not shocked that this is coming from the mouth of the demon of YouTube, the spawn of Satan himself on YouTube. I'm not surprised, because this is a man who was known for dehumanizing so many people in his past. This is a man who was known for treating people like absolute garbage. So am I surprised that he is treating somebody like garbage because he is jealous and envious of them? No, I'm not. But at the same time, I am absolutely dumbfounded at how this man can seem to strive to have the worst take on every single topic.
Now, the reason I feel bad for Amber Heard is because she seriously, obviously suffers an amazing mental disorder. Like, she's clearly mentally handicapped, and everybody's bullying her and picking on her. She's up there and she's performing as if even half her audience is looking at this like this is a normal person. She's literally on the stand contradicting herself, not realizing that her lies aren't adding up. The woman is seriously mentally ill, and we should all feel bad for her.
And again, I want to add to this, take away your opinions from the case. Take away your opinion on Amber Heard or Johnny Depp for a second and realize what this person is saying here. So Onision seemingly does believe that Amber Heard abused Johnny Depp, but at the same time, he seems willing to excuse that because she is mentally ill. Personally, I actually feel like physical and mental abuse isn't justified no matter what your mental illness is. Yes, some mental illnesses, a lot of mental illnesses are going to be very difficult to deal with, and that's something that we should accept. But at the same time, beating somebody up and doing horrible things to them is not justified because of mental illness. But it seems that's exactly what Gregory seems to believe here, and I feel like there's some very bad self-projection coming from this. Throughout all of these videos, he seems to be kind of a little bit bitter, a little bit angry. It's almost like he's speaking about himself, and some people may think I'm reaching, but just based on the video previously of where he's clearly speaking about himself.
I've gone through things.
There's no lawsuits, no civil lawsuits.
And now he's coming and speaking about this Amber Heard thing of where he weirdly feels sorry for her because of the terrible things she allegedly did. I just find that very strange, and no matter what side you support, I feel like we can both agree on that this is absolutely bizarre and obviously a terrible way to come at this. But then it just gets extremely bizarre when Onision goes on this tangent about how Amber Heard shouldn't feel bad for herself because she was married to Johnny Depp. It's just a really fucking weird take to have.
We should also feel bad for Amber Heard because of the fact that she doesn't realize how awesome it was to be able to say, I'm married to Johnny Depp. She that was lost on her. Like, if you ever are married to Johnny Depp and you feel like, you know what, I'm just not feeling it, just throw on Pirates of the Caribbean or Edward Scissorhands and then realize, once you're instantly moistened or hardened, holy crap, I'm married to that. And that's amazing, okay? The reality of relationships is more often than not, there's two people in them, okay? Two imperfect people. And when there's two imperfect people in relationships, go figure, both people often do things that aren't perfect.
I swear literally only abusive people say this sort of thing. It's like, oh yeah, there's some terrible things that go on in relationships, but at the end of the day, people aren't perfect. It's like, mate, I feel like you're conflating having an argument with your partner with physical and mental abuse. That's like not a regular thing that should go on in a relationship. Sadly, it's very common, but it shouldn't go on. And I think if we start to normalize it, being like, oh yeah, everyone's not perfect. It's like, Greg, everyone's not perfect, but that's still not a justification to mentally or physically abuse somebody.
Because sympathy comes down to which person would you rather be less. I think pretty much no one who knows about this case would say I would rather be Amber Heard in this situation, because she is clearly a mentally tormented woman, mostly because probably of her own illness.
I'm sorry, but I just can't help but think he's projecting about his previous experiences and relationships with his previous partners, basically all coming out against him. I just can't help but feel like that's exactly what he's projecting himself onto here, and it's absolutely mental, just his whole take. And the thing is this is actually the least weird video out of every single one we're going to go through today. This is the one where I actually sit here and think, after watching all of them, yeah, this is actually it's not that bad, considering how terrible it actually is. And I genuinely believe after this performance, Gregory should be put in the Guinness Book of World Records, because he's the first person in existence to not only piss off Johnny Depp supporters, but he's also pissed off the Amber Heard supporters. So I guess, nice one on that, Gregory. It once again proves how unlikable you actually are. But again, as much as I make jokes and as much as it's funny to laugh about this, I do feel like this is a very real thing of where a terrible human being who's been exposed for a lot of awful things has now seen a case of where somebody has clearly had quite a lot of a redemption arc in the public eye, and he's seen that and thought, I'm going to now attempt to take that and use that to clear my name, which is absolutely horrific. The Johnny Depp Amber Heard case should be an isolated case, just like every other case. You can't just base one case on another case. That's not a thing which I personally don't believe that we should do. Yes, we should listen to male victims, but also we shouldn't use that to, I guess, cancel out actual victims of abuse. That's an absolutely horrific thing, and I said in a previous video, I'm genuinely worried that that's something a lot of powerful, rich and famous people are now going to do because of this case. You can support Johnny Depp and understand that and believe that. And it's once again proven in a video titled, Is Amber Heard Beneath You? Gregory in this video is seemingly once again taking the opinion that Amber Heard has committed domestic abuse and has committed a lot of terrible actions, but in this video again, he's excusing that by using mental health as an excuse. And again, I don't think you need to be on either side in this to understand why this is terrible. He has seemingly put in his mind that somebody is an abuser, but he is willing to excuse that abuse because of mental health. Please say, for the love of God, I'm not the only one that can see he is majorly projecting here.
Hi, so first off, just want to say thank you to all the people who responded to my last video. It was really mentally stimulating.
7 people. All the 7 people that responded. Thank you very much.
And on that note, I wanted to hit on Amber Heard. Not like that. Whoa.
Ha 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 ha! Wow. You are so incredibly funny! Please, just fucking quit social media, Greg. Just quit. Just please quit.
As far as the popular perception, right now Amber Heard is perceived to be like a total monster, Satan incarnate, yada yada. And that's kind of ridiculous, considering she's just a mentally ill woman, and yet people feel like heroes by being sadistic towards her, and that's confusing to me. Heroes don't look at other people's suffering and go, ha 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 ha. That's what villains do. Heroes don't take a mentally ill woman and put them on their Twitter feed and say, hey, aren't I better than this person? Look how lousy and terrible this person is. Let's all surround them and kick them while they're down. Like, that's not hero behavior. But a lot of you guys will comment on my videos, or comments just generally, talking about how much better you guys think you are than Amber Heard, ignoring the fact that this woman is seriously mentally ill and you're picking on a handicapped person. You could say she has narcissistic personality disorders, you could say that she has BPD, or she's bipolar, or whatever you want. Those are all mental illnesses. Regardless of how they affect other people, they're still mental illnesses. If you yourself are not mentally ill and you are attacking someone who is mentally ill, I would say that you should reflect on yourself.
Yes, I did just do a dramatic sigh into a microphone. And the reason is I didn't want to have to do this. I did not want to have to do this. I did not want to have to do this. But I've got to get out the whiteboard.
This is my vegetarian body!
You see what it says? Do I need to read this to you? Probably, because my handwriting sucks, but I'm just going to point to the sign again. Your mental health is obviously not an excuse to be a bellend. Guys, how many times do I need to say this? Do I need to repeat myself 60,000 times a video? Your mental health. I was going to say I don't care about it, but with you guys, probably, maybe a little bit. But, Greg, I don't really care about yours, to be honest, and even if I did, it wouldn't really excuse anything that you've done or anybody that's committed domestic abuse. It just isn't a justification, my friend.
And maybe look in the mirror and say, hey, this is toxic behavior and I should stop it. I'm not saying you're bad or terrible for gang beating someone on social media, someone who is mentally ill or anything. I'm not saying you're horrible for doing that. I'm just saying if you want to be a hero, don't act like villains where you just bully people because you think you're better than them. Like Amber Heard, she did really bad things, okay? Is you being toxic to her going to make anything better?
Gregory, you seemingly are under the mindset that Amber Heard is a terrible person, so I do need to kind of ask you the question of, do you genuinely believe that domestic abuse is okay if you're mentally ill? Because that says a lot of things about you, buddy. That says a lot of things about you, the more things than it does say about the people that criticize mentally ill people. Because the thing is with mentally ill people, they are, well, let's take away the mentally ill bit, and then what do we have left? They are people, they are humans. Just like a non-mentally ill person, they still exist in the same confines of society that a non-mentally ill person does. They abide by the same laws, by the same rules, and the same societal standards. That doesn't excuse them from anything. They will have a harder life in some aspects than non-mentally ill people, but even these mentally ill people will fully acknowledge that they cannot excuse violent, physical, abusive, mentally abusive actions because of the illness that they are suffering with in their life. What I see here is an extremely dangerous manipulative tactic of somebody taking a very serious case and using it to clear their name. And I will continue to repeat that because it only shows further and further in this video. And I am genuinely worried that this whole thing is setting a nasty precedent for a lot of rich and powerful people to do the same. But I do want to put in a slight request and say, whenever something like this happens with somebody else, like a celebrity, influencer, somebody you know, just use this video as the basis of your argument, because I feel like Onision is a really good case study to this. He's kind of showing every form of manipulative tactic that he can throw into the works in this video, and I just thought, you know, I should use Onision as the case study, but ultimately use it to kind of speak about every time somebody does this. Is that making sense? Is it? I hope it is, because I feel like it makes sense in my mind, and I hope it makes sense in your mind.
I got a reality check for you guys, okay? You're not the police, you're not the lawyers, you're not the judge, you're not even Johnny Depp. Dang it, I know we wish we were Johnny Depp, but we're not Johnny Depp.
Now, this point for me personally is particularly quite interesting because this really contradicts something that Gregory said previously in this very same video, because funnily enough, for the first time ever, Greg actually made a good point at the very beginning of this video where he said that in the legal system, sometimes people in America go to jail for 30 years for a crime that they did not commit.
We have law enforcement, we have a whole legal system which tries to get justice. Sometimes people go to jail for 30 years for things they didn't do. You know, they try.
So it's really weird that he says that, but at the same time says, oh, guys, if somebody's committed domestic abuse, you shouldn't criticize them because, you know, you're not part of the law, you're not part of the legal system, you're not part of the judicial system. It's like, okay, Greg, but what about the thing you said previously of people are wrongfully committed. You are criticizing the legal system and acknowledging its flaws. Therefore, surely you should understand that by saying somebody went to jail for a crime they didn't commit, somebody else may have committed that crime. Or just in general, you are acknowledging that the legal system is flawed in general. People go to jail for crimes they didn't commit, but people also didn't go to jail for crimes that they did commit, you know? You are acknowledging that, and that's a great point. But the reason you're saying you don't think that we should judge potential domestic abusers isn't because you're coming from this empathetic standpoint. You're now this golden savior, this beacon of hope. No, it's coming from the fact that you yourself have been accused of so many things, and you're using a manipulative tactic of trying to convince whatever audience you have left that they shouldn't judge you because they're not a part of the legal system. That's absolutely insane, but again, it plays into the whole reason I'm making this video, that I'm worried that a lot of people out there are going to start to use these arguments. Now, obviously, innocent until proven guilty, of course, but in a lot of cases, there is so much evidence stacked up against somebody, i.e. Onision, you really don't need the legal system to give you your own conclusive opinion. But after this, it does get more and more strange, where Gregory uploads a video titled "Someone Asked Me What I Think About Marilyn Manson's Recent Woes," and again, I have to ask you to pull yourself away from any situation surrounding Marilyn Manson and just hear what Gregory is saying here when he speaks about alleged abusers. He brings up the conversation of James Franco, Marilyn Manson, Amber Heard, Elon Musk, and says that we should rehabilitate abusers, and I just can't help but get a very terrible taste in my mouth after listening to this.
Howdy y'all, I just wanted to talk about the Marilyn Manson situation and the Elon Musk situation, or basically every famous male person you've ever looked up to who wound up being a total CREEP, apparently. And YouTubers aren't immune to that. I've gone through things.
Yeah, Greg, you've been through things, haven't you?
Oh god, I pooped up. I'm still there.
You've definitely been through some things.
SNL actors have gone through things. World champion athletes have gone through things. Basically, anyone who is perceived to have money or is well known for something, they're targets, and sometimes rightfully so. But a commenter asked me about Marilyn Manson, which brought up, this clip.
No, Corns. Okay. Danzig's, I would use his bus as a place for sexual liaisons that probably are illegal to mention, but I do remember. I think we played at Tampa together.
What are you talking about, bro? So in these instances, these things might be true. Apparently, Elon Musk offered a employee the opportunity to gratify him downstairs if he gave him a horse, allegedly. You just can't trust the media, because the media is paid to get your attention. Common sense tells you if someone is paid to make things look more dramatic than they are, they're most likely not going to be truthful, but rather whatever they're incentivized to make it look.
Again, this is another case of Onision trying to discredit journalists and people that speak about him on the internet by saying that, oh, it's all money motivated and, it's designed to get clicks and stuff. And it's like, yeah, of course, these journalists and YouTubers want people to watch their video, because why would they make the video if they didn't want people to see the information that they are presenting in those videos? Just because there is money involved doesn't mean that this information is incorrect. But he continues to repeat this rhetoric throughout the entire video, and it's just insane.
When we talk about Elon Musk and Marilyn Manson and all the heroes that we had growing up who wound up being alleged creeps, because, it makes the media money. Some cases real, some obviously not. Why is it we say that their punishment should be greater than their crime? And I want that to kind of simmer with you guys. Just let it sit for a minute. Why is it we so often make the punishment much greater than the crime?
In my opinion, if you are an abuser, I definitely do believe that the punishment should be more than the rehabilitation. That may be controversial, but there are some crimes out there which I just think are inexcusable, where you have ruined somebody's life to an extent of where it's indefensible. Like, ruining somebody's life in general is indefensible, but like, these abusers and people that have done it for years on end do deserve to go to, you know, jail and face repercussions for their crimes. And, you know, yeah, you can be rehabilitated. That's something that already exists. These people are rich and they are powerful, and they probably would have the opportunity to have that if they went to prison. But for one, most of them don't go to prison because they are rich and powerful, Greg. But at the same time, if they did go to jail, they probably should face serious repercussions for their actions, because they probably have ruined the lives of other people. I'm talking about any abuser in general. I think they should face more punishment than rehabilitation because they have ruined the lives of other people. That may be controversial, but I just cannot really emphasize with these people whatsoever, which you seemingly can, which says quite a lot, Gregory. It says to me that you relate to these people and you understand what they've gone through. He then compares domestic abuser to weed crimes. He says weed could put you in jail for decades. What was that? That's not balance. Gregory, smoking weed and abusing somebody are obviously very different things, because it's almost like, Gregory, not all crimes are the same. It's almost like crimes are different based on what crime they are. Wow, what an incredible bit of insight. It's almost like, you know, if I steal something, my crime is theft. If I punch somebody, my crime is assault. Two different things, and I probably face different repercussions for them. What are you even talking about here? But again, this is what the entire thing is here. He is desperately trying to clear his name and justify his actions in the past by saying, hey guys, look at Johnny Depp. Everybody likes him now. Okay, Gregory, you're not Johnny Depp. Your story is completely different. I'm sorry, but we need to keep these cases isolated and not base every other case on another case out there. That just makes no sense. It's genuinely worrying to see this though, and I think if there's one thing we can take from Gregory here, is to be aware that horrible people out there, horrible famous people, will take advantage of horrible situations for their benefit. If Johnny Depp wins this case, Onision will say, oh, I told you so guys, an accused abuser was actually the victim, like me. And if Amber Heard wins the case, Onision will say, oh, I told you guys so, someone crucified by the public was actually the victim, just like me. No, this is an isolated case, just like yours are. You can't compare two different situations. I'm sorry, you just can't. I'm going to end and conclude this video by saying, please just be aware that a lot of terrible people out there are going to take this case and use it to clear their names in certain situations where they have done terrible things. Please be aware that probably a lot of influencers out there will genuinely try to justify their terrible actions by using the Johnny Depp case. As much as people don't want to believe that, it's clear that this is now happening, and that is genuinely worrying, and we need to make sure that that doesn't happen. Thank you for watching this video. Please, for the love of God, don't go and watch Onision's videos and reply to them. Just watch this video or somebody else's video about it. Don't give him the clicks. Don't give him the attention. He doesn't deserve it. I'll just give him the little bit of attention that he desperately craves. Thank you for watching. Social media is in the description. inabber69 on Twitter, inabber on Instagram. It's all there. Thank you so much, everybody. And I'm going to see you in the next video. Peace out and have a lovely day. And this is a little ending bit. I just want to say, if you got to the end of this video and you didn't comment something violently angry down below, I just want to give you a little thumbs up and say, well done. Look at you. Look at you not being a Twitter user.